Since right now everyone is busy talking about Demon Slayer being voted the decade's best anime and all complaining about how no one is taking any other years into consideration, I figured yours truly will be so kind as to give a definitive answer on what the actual best anime of the decade is. This is in no way subjective or an opinion. My decisions are fact, so deal with it. I'm gonna be starting from 2010 and telling you guys what was factually the best anime of the year and move on through 2011 and so on and so forth. Then at the end, I will reveal to all of you what the best anime of the decade really is. Just a heads up, I won't be counting anime movies because, let's be real, a silent voice would just win the whole thing, or shows that had their original airing season start before 2010. So starting off in 2010, it was probably the weakest year for anime in this decade. I mean, we had some cult classics like Angel Beats, High School of the Dead, and Yamada's First Time, but the undisputed best anime of the year would have to go to The World God Only Knows. It's honestly one of the last great harem anime to come out of the 2000s, and surprisingly enough, I actually rewatched the show not even 2 weeks ago. The show is kind of like a roller coaster because some arcs are just really boring and not much thought was put into them. However, other arcs are just these masterpieces with gorgeous visuals and their own soundtracks. I mean, God, that library arc was amazing. It has a lot of ups and downs, but overall, the show has really stood the test of time and is personally one of my favorite anime. 2011 was a tough choice. I had to narrow it down to Hunter x Hunter, Madoka Magica, and Usagi Drop. But what I ended up choosing was Madoka Magica. Oh god, I can already hear the Hunter x Hunter fans screaming in the comments. Madoka Magica redefined the magical girls genre. Starting from what used to be this happy-go-lucky genre and turning it on its head. That was a little bit darker than I meant it to be. No, but in all seriousness, Madoka Magica was one of the first shows that just hooked me into the anime medium with such creative storytelling, amazing art design, and its ability to capture this feeling of absolute dread. 2012 may have just been the most competitive year for me. I mean, we had Hyoka, Sankaria, Excel World, From the New World, Shinibyo, Psychopaths, and so many other amazing shows. But for longtime viewers of the channel, you guys already know what anime I'm going to pick. Pet Girl of Sakurosu has always been my personal favorite anime. Now, is it perfect? Of course not. But it's such a unique exploration of failure, talent, and hard work, all smashed into an ecchi no less. It's sad, it's happy, it's just so many great things, and it's one of the anime that I always go out of my way to rewatch at least once a year. 2013 was a solid year for anime, obviously not as strong as 2012, but still an overall good year. The three shows I narrowed it down to were Snafu, Kill la Kill, and Silver Spoon. And trust me, I really wanted to give it to Kill la Kill, but my gut forced me to give it to Silver Spoon. Silver Spoon is probably one of the most slept on anime of the decade. I mean, it's written by the same person who wrote Full Metal Alchemist. The show just follows a city boy who attends a college in the country to become a farmer. I know that sounds really boring, but obviously there is so much more to this show. It's a fantastic character drama, and the show really explores some of the harsh realities of life that I feel like a lot of other shows gloss over. I know most of you probably haven't seen this show, so if you can, please fix that. 2014 was another year I'd say was on the weaker side. I mean, some of the only shows that really stood out to me were No Game No Life and Parasite. However, there is one show that was clearly above the rest. Ping Pong the Animation. Look, I know, the body horror is terrifying, but trust me, it's there for a reason. This show is what I call the ultimate sports anime. Just the soundtrack, the power behind all the animations, and the characters and how they develop, this show really is just a masterpiece. Please watch this anime if you haven't already, because it will change how you view sports anime. 2015 saw the likes of Tokyo Ghoul, Death Parade, and Kekai Sensen, a lot of bleaker but still magnificently produced anime. However, the show that took the cake for this year needs no introduction. One Punch Man changed anime as a medium. This show sent shockwaves throughout the community, and for good reason. It's a beautifully animated, hilarious action anime following Saitama, a hero who can kill any person in one punch. I just personally can't wait until they make a second season. 2016 was obviously the start of My Hero Academia, along with Konosuba and Yuri on Ice, but there is a specific show that I think deserves the #1 spot of the year, and that would have to be Mob Psycho 100. Mob Psycho 100 is Studio Bones' masterpiece. It's stylistic, the fights are amazing, the colors are gorgeous. The show is just a 1 in a million anime. It's honestly a bit hard to criticize this anime in any way, and unlike its counterpart from 2016, its second season may be even better than the first, expanding on everything that made season 1 so great without ever cutting on the quality. 2017 was a bit of a slow-paced year, mostly embracing the moe genre with shows like Kobayashi's Dragon Maid and my pick, Made in Abyss. However, Made in Abyss isn't exactly an upbeat comedy like most other moe anime. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's a dark show that talks about the cruelty and indifference towards life and nature. It's a really profound anime with gorgeous world building and 2 lovable characters that, by some miracle, aren't dead yet. "2018 is similar to 2012, where there were just so many amazing anime to choose from. I mean, you've got Megalobox, Happy Sugar Life, Devilman Crybaby, Agretzko, and hell, another slept-on amazing anime called Bloom Into You. By the way, if you want a more in-depth video on 2018, I'll have a link to this video in the description. But I have to give 2018 to Violet Evergarden. This anime still stands as a testament of what the medium could be. I mean, the animation quality is similar to anime movies. The soundtrack puts most other shows to shame. The story is this heartbreaking character drama about a child of war learning the meaning of love. It just does everything so well, it's pretty hard to talk about it in a general sense. I feel bad because I know a lot of people still haven't watched this anime, and why? Please, it's amazing. And lastly, and debatably the least interesting, 2019. I feel like 2019 had a lot of disappointing shows. Not trying to be negative, just speaking my mind. I mean, we did have some saving graces, such as Shield Hero and Dr. Stone. And yes, I will be giving the year of 2019 to Demon Slayer. When it comes down to it, Studio Ufotable really created something special with this show. Their integration of 3D cameras and models into 2D spaces is just leagues above everyone else. Not to mention, every single demon has a unique fighting style and just looks incredible in battles. My inner shonen lover just drools over this show. So these are my picks for the best anime of the decade. Once again, these are not my opinions. Every word I say is factual, so you all have to agree with my choices. But of course, everyone wants to know, what is truly #1? Not just the best of each year, but what show really is #1 throughout the decade? And don't worry guys, I have your answer. The winner of the best anime of the decade is Yuri on Ice. Yes, I know it wasn't a contender, but f you, I make the rules. Yuri on Ice is without a doubt objectively the best anime of the decade. Deal with it, bitches. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry, I just was messing around a bit. Everyone was taking this whole Demon Slayer isn't the best anime of the decade controversy too far. So I figured I'd at least point out some of the hypocrisy there, since there is no such thing as the objectively best anime of the decade. From a personal standpoint, I'd say Violet Evergarden is the best anime of the decade, with Pet Girl Sakurosu being my favorite anime of the decade. So there's your definitive answer for those of you who were genuinely curious. Thank you guys so much for watching. A huge thank you to my patrons. You guys are my heroes. Speaking of which, if you're interested in seeing how I edit, joining our exclusive Discord, or simply supporting the channel, feel free to join me on Patreon. Make sure you guys share, like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Matt. Make sure you guys stay man and go watch that goddamned anime.